What if you could transform your home with stylish, chic decor for just a few bucks? Well, today we are going to be doing some Dollar Tree DIY decor that's going to be budget friendly and fabulous. The Dollar Tree has some dishes out right now, which rotate seasonally. Right now they've got some beautiful spring plates and bowls in a variety of different shades of blues and pinks. And then we've got the old reliables. We've got the white ones, we've got the clear ones, and there are some colorful plates. Today we are going to be using a cobalt blue plate in our first project. I loved the color of this plate. And for those of you that want color in your decor, this is your day. Another gem that I totally overlook when I go to the Dollar Tree is their fabric section. They have a great variety of different kinds of fabric. I found a roll of beautiful teal, orange, and red fabric. It has some beautiful flowers on it and curved shapes. The coloring on this fabric is going to coordinate beautifully with our blue plate. And only $1.25 for a fairly significant amount of fabric is a great deal. So what we're going to do with our fabric is we're actually going to cut around this design. I want to make a lattice. So I'm going to grab some fabric scissors and I'm going to begin cutting around the arabesque design. Once the first row had been cut out, I moved to the middle section. Now to cut out this middle section, what I'm going to do is just fold it like this and then grab my scissors and snip it in the middle, and that will give me an access point so I can get my scissors in there and cut out the center. So I did that with the second row. The third row I left intact, and the fourth row I'm going to clip those centers out once again and cut them out. And then I'm going to leave the fifth row intact, so now I have a beautiful lattice design made out of this fabric. We are going to be putting this fabric over the top of our plate. And we're going to do that with some Mod Podge and a sponge brush. So I took my Mod Podge and I painted it on the center of the plate first. I'm going to add a fair amount. Then I took my fabric and placed it in the Mod Podge. I made sure to center it appropriately and then I pressed it firmly to the plate. You want to make sure that all the air bubbles that may be trapped under the fabric have been pressed out. That way the fabric adheres well to the plate. I added more Mod Podge to the bottom, then pressed the fabric to the plate, and finally added more Mod Podge to the top of the plate and pressed the fabric into the Mod Podge once again. You can see there's all this extra fabric hanging off the edges. Well, we want to trim that off, and luckily, just cutting along that plate gives me a template so I know that I'm going to get the exact shape that I need. I trimmed off all the excess fabric so it fit perfectly over the surface of the plate. The reason why I'm cutting the fabric right now is because the plate dips, so it'd be really hard to measure the exact size that I needed. So trimming it afterwards ensures a perfect fit every time. After trimming the fabric, I applied a top layer of Mod Podge, ensuring both the fabric and the plate were fully coated. I carefully covered the entire surface and the edges of the plate with the Mod Podge for a seamless finish. Once everything was thoroughly coated, I let it dry for an hour. Wow, you guys, check out this plate. Do you know what I love about this plate? Is it's very different than something that we typically do. This is bright and colorful and has almost like a Moroccan feel to it, which I think is so stylish. And can you believe that we crafted this beautiful plate out of items from the Dollar Tree? The plate, the fabric, and you can even buy Mod Podge at the Dollar Tree. I've seen it there too. So you can purchase everything you need to create a custom plate at the Dollar Tree. And customizing it would be fabulous too, because you can pick whichever color of plate or design of fabric that you want. If you wanted to keep it more neutral, you could go with a white plate and a more muted fabric. You could do a seasonal plate. How fun would that be? And get like a seasonal fabric. And then you could display this on your countertop, in your kitchen cabinets, on top of a table. Just get a frame holder and pop it in the frame holder. This chic, budget-friendly masterpiece will elevate any space. This was so easy and affordable, you've got to try this. Have you ever tapped into the magic of the wallpaper at the Dollar Tree? I absolutely love it. And just like the plates, it changes seasonally. So I found some wallpaper there that I have never seen before and I am so excited to use. This chinoiserie bird design wallpaper looks so high end. I was so excited when I saw it. I actually scooped up 2 pieces of this contact paper. The birds are so detailed and the flowers are simply stunning. It has a beautiful sheen over the top. The colors are fabulous. This was definitely a great find. So now we've got to figure out a way to make our wallpaper stand out and be a focal point. Well, another item that I use all the time at the Dollar Tree are their vases. They have such a huge variety of sizes and shaped vases. My Dollar Tree has the $1, $3, and $5 options, so I chose the largest one that they had. It was only $5, which in my opinion is a great deal for the size and scale of this glass vase. We are going to be covering this vase with our wallpaper. So what I'm going to do first is measure it out. I propped my wallpaper up next to my glass vase. I got a pencil and a ruler. I drew a straight line across the center, and then I grabbed a pair of scissors and cut the paper in half. Now I'm going to remove the backing from the sticker. Then I'm going to take my vase, turn it on its side, and place the contact paper onto the vase and roll it around the perimeter. I'm going to make sure that it's pressed firmly to the glass. You want to press all of the air bubbles out. If you get air bubbles trapped underneath, the paper is going to wrinkle, so press the paper firmly as you go along. Now that the first half of the contact paper is on, let's add the second half. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to line it up right next to my first piece. Then I'm going to once again press the contact paper firmly to the base. I'm not going to remove all of the protective backing from the sticker this time. I'm going to wait until I get back to the beginning. At this point, I can grab my scissors, cut off the excess contact paper, and then press the edges firmly together. And the excess piece still has that protective coating on the back, so I can use it for another project. I did have a teeny tiny bit of excess hanging off the bottom, which is no problem. Just grab your scissors and trim it to size. You guys, isn't this vase stunning? I cannot even tell you how beautiful it is. In person, it's even prettier. It was so easy to do and so affordable. I thought, you know what? I bet you I could look online and find some vases that are similar to mine, and they would be so expensive. And guess what? I was right. I found some exorbitantly priced vases that look so similar to the one that we were able to do. And ours was under $7, which is such a great deal. Again, it's one of those pieces that you can completely customize to your own style, to a season, or to a party theme. So using the wallpaper at the Dollar Tree is such a great decor tip. Another great decor tip is using the flowers from the Dollar Tree. I use them all the time. I use them as filler flowers. So what I'm going to do is get a bunch of roses, and we are going to create a floral arrangement to go inside of our vase. I'm also going to be using some white hydrangea and some pink peonies. So what I did was I took my hydrangea, I bent the stem, I placed them in my vase, and then I took my pink peonies. Once again, I bent the stem, that way it fits perfectly inside of my vase, and then I just intermixed the flowers together. I just twisted them around so that way we had a great variety. And finally, I'm going to take my white roses and place those in the center. Once again, I made sure that these roses were intertwined with the other 2 types of flowers. That way we don't have a big clump of flowers in one place. And for a final touch, I'm going to grab a couple of stems of gold frosted leaves and place those into the arrangement. You guys, look at this gorgeous floral arrangement. I cannot even tell you how pretty this is. And the star of the show is, of course, this contact paper. I love how it has those vibrant colors, and we infused color into our design in a very classy way. It's not overwhelmingly colorful. We just have some bright pops in the birds and in the flowers, but you can see all this space in between is neutral, so it tones down the color. We have a lot of pattern down at the bottom, so we didn't want our flowers to be too busy as well because it would take away from the beautiful design on our contact paper. The flowers and the contact paper complement each other beautifully. You would never guess that this flower arrangement was originally from the Dollar Tree. This was so easy to do. Any DIY beginner would be able to create this gorgeous vase and a beautiful floral arrangement to go inside. Now that my daughter Ellie is married and moved out, I am going to move into her room, and that's going to be my craft room and my office. So it's time to do some upgrades in there, and we're going to start with the ensuite bathroom. Now, the mirror that was in there before was scratched up. It was tired, and honestly, it was kind of an eyesore. I knew it was time for an upgrade, and we are definitely upgrading with this KALYKE Inyouths mirror. Wow, it has been a game changer. All I needed to do was unbox it, and then I measured out precisely where I wanted it to hang in my bathroom. So I got my pencil, I got a level, and then I got my drill, and I drilled in some holes. All of the hardware is provided with the mirror, and I simply screwed it into the wall. And now I'm ready to hang my beautiful arched mirror. Once it was hung, I peeled away the protective coating. And let me tell you, this mirror is beautiful. I was able to customize it to the size that I wanted. There are 30 size combinations and 11 feature options. You can design it to fit your space perfectly. I picked the ideal size for my vanity. I wanted it to span across the entire width of my vanity and almost up to the ceiling, which it does. I wanted a sleek arch design and a touch switch. And because Inyouths uses a factory direct model, it's delivered straight from their factory to your door at a super competitive price. No middleman, just quality. Look at how sharp and crisp this mirror looks. The HD clear reflection is so crisp, and the LED lighting lets you customize brightness and color temperature. And it turns right on, which makes doing my makeup or shaving so much easier. Do your mirrors get foggy when you shower? Well, you don't need to worry about that anymore. This has a built-in demister, so you don't need to worry about a foggy mirror. And let's talk about safety. This mirror is definitely built to last. It has an explosion-proof film and waterproof backing, so I know it's durable and safe for a humid bathroom. And now, thanks to this mirror, my bathroom looks like a spa. So if you're ready to ditch your old mirror like me, then check out this custom LED mirror. You can customize yours and get free shipping in the US. I will leave a link to Inyouths in my description box along with a coupon code so you can get 15% off. I know you will be so impressed by all of their mirrors. Have you ever thought about turning a simple gift bag into a beautiful piece of framed art? Well, that's what we're going to do for our next project. The Dollar Tree has a huge variety of gift bags there. And just because they're for a baby shower or a wedding or a birthday doesn't mean you can't take advantage of the design that's on it. For instance, this congratulatory gift bag had some beautiful flowers on it, and I was just so inspired by them, and I wanted to use this floral design from the gift bag. So what I'm going to do is disassemble this gift bag. There's a seam on one side, so all I did was pull the bag apart right there at the seam, and then there's seams on the bottom. So I pulled it apart as well, and then I laid it out flat. Now we need a frame to put our art in. Once again, the Dollar Tree has a fabulous selection of frames. They have different sizes and shaped and colored frames. I always find what I need at the Dollar Tree. What I needed this time was a white frame with a gold trim around the outside and the inside. This is a great size, and for $1.25 you can't go wrong. If you're looking for any kind of wood shapes, I tell you, the Dollar Tree's got you covered. So what I found was a wood dragonfly. This wood shape is going to be the centerpiece to our art. Now we can't leave it plain, we've got to give it a little bit of color. So I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to spray it in some gold Rust-Oleum spray paint. I made sure that the surface and the sides were covered in the spray paint. Once everything had been sufficiently coated in the paint, I let it dry for 1 hour. The gift bag has some holes at the top because it's got to have access points so we can put a handle on it. Well, we don't want this excess ribbon, so we've got to remove this. So all I did was just poke the ribbon back through the holes, and then I also cut off the plastic hook where you hang it up on the display rod. While our dragonfly is drying, what we're going to do is remove the back of the frame. I'm going to line it up over our floral design. I got a pencil and traced around the perimeter of the frame backing. Then I got a pair of scissors and cut out this rectangle. Now we are going to hot glue this segment that we cut out from our bag directly onto the back of the frame. So I added hot glue around the outside edge of the frame backing. Then I took my floral segment and I pressed it over the top. Our gold dragonfly is now dry, so I'm just going to add some hot glue to the back of the dragonfly, and then I'm going to press it directly into the center of our floral design. One thing that would have really bothered me was to see the holes where we removed the ribbon handle. We got to cover those up with something. So what we're going to do is head over to the ribbon section, and there I found some gold pearl wrap. What we're going to do with this pearl wrap is we are going to actually cut off one row, and then I'm going to cut these little pearls out individually. Now I can get some hot glue, and I'm going to add a dab of hot glue right over the hole, and then I'm going to take one of these individual pearls and press it into the hot glue. And then I repeated the process with the other hole. I just added hot glue to that one and pressed a singular pearl bead into the hot glue. Now it would have looked really weird if I would have just had these two little gold dots at the top, so we're gonna have to add a whole bunch more. So that's exactly what I did. I added dabs of hot glue and then pressed the gold pearls into the hot glue. I added these pearls sporadically across the surface of the flowers. I wanted them to be evenly distributed, but have a little bit of whimsy in their placement. I love the additional color, tone, and the detail that these gold pearls add. It gives extra dimension to the surface of our floral art. Now, because we have a 3D dragon, we are not going to be able to replace it back into the original frame. So what we're going to do is just remove the glass from the front, and now we can replace the backing into the frame. And just like that, we've created a one-of-a-kind piece of framed art. How cute is this? It was so easy to create. You would never guess that the flowers originated from a gift bag and that the gold sparkles were from some pearl wrap. Our dragonfly was unfinished and now it looks so classy, painted gold. We did not spend very much money on this at all. I think it's unique and one of a kind. The way that we turned affordable Dollar Tree items into some framed art is astounding. It's amazing how a little creativity and some budget-friendly items can create unique pieces of home decor. You should definitely give this a try. It's a fantastic way to add a personal touch to your space without spending a fortune. If you like DIY home decor, room transformations, dupes, thrift flips, then you have come to the right place. I post new weekly videos, so make sure you're subscribed so you can get all kinds of home decor inspiration, and be sure to give this video a like. That way I know that you want to see more types of these kinds of videos. For our next project, we are going to head back to the organization section at the Dollar Tree, and there I found a lazy Susan. Yes, we are going to be using a lazy Susan in our next DIY. I think that these are so versatile. However, they're about as plain Jane as you can get. It definitely needs to be spruced up. So we are once again going to be using some contact paper. You guys, they have a huge variety of contact paper there. So if you don't want to Mod Podge something on, you can definitely use this. I found this beautiful white and gold geometric pattern paper. Of course, we have our beautiful bird paper that we used earlier, but I was actually rummaging through my stash and I found this paper that I had already used for a different project. And I loved the leaves. I thought they were just so whimsical, and I knew we were going to be able to create something gorgeous from this leaf wallpaper. So what we're going to do is cut around these leaves because we want to get a bit of an organic shape. I'm skimming the edges of the leaves and the branches. You don't need to cut tight to the leaves. Curving your scissors around the edges will give us the soft look that we're going for. You can make your shape as big or as small as you want. I'm going for one large section of leaves. Now that I have my leaf shape cut out, what I'm going to do is remove the protective backing from the sticker. Now you're going to want to make sure that you go slow when you do this part because you did all that hard work to cut out this specific shape. You don't want to tear the sticker. So I took some time and went slow and methodically to remove the paper from the sticker. Now I'm going to place my wallpaper leaves in the center of our Lazy Susan. So I just pressed it directly into the center, and then I'm going to curve the sticker up the sides so it can climb up the edges of the Lazy Susan. I thought, how cool is it to have our little leafy vines crawling up the sides? Once again, I made sure that the sticker was pressed firmly to the Lazy Susan to get out any air bubbles because we want our sticker to lay flat. We don't want any bumps or lumps. And how easy was that, you guys? Such a piece of cake. But look at how stunning our gorgeous Lazy Susan looks with this leaf design on it. Of course, you could use this for your spices or your condiments in the fridge, but what I'm going to do with mine is put some pretty perfumes and lotions in the center of this, and then I can put it in my closet or the bathroom. This is a pretty way to display your pretty things. And of course, it's so convenient. All I have to do is just twist it around to get exactly what you want. So that's very helpful as well. And once again, you could completely personalize this to your own specific taste. In fact, all the projects that we did today could be intermixed or interchanged with each other. You could use contact paper on all the projects we did. You could Mod Podge fabric on all the projects that we did. And you could use a gift bag on all of the projects that we did today. So interchange them as you like, use one technique on all of them, or mix and match to your heart's desire. But you have to admit, every single one of the projects that we did today were so easy to do. It didn't take me very much time at all to create these projects. And since everything was from the Dollar Tree, it was all extremely affordable, which proves that you can live beautifully and you can do it with items from the Dollar Tree. You can get some high-end looking pieces of home decor on a budget. Well, we had a lot of fun turning that gift bag into some framed art, jazzing up the vase with contact paper and a floral arrangement, and giving a Lazy Susan a stylish spin, and creating a unique custom plate with fabric. Well, if you liked this Dollar Tree home decor video, then make sure you're subscribed. I've got plenty more projects from where this came from. Well, I hope you got some ideas or some inspiration today so you feel like that you can decorate your home beautifully on a budget. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much for watching.